Hey you, welcome back to another video. And today, oh dear Lord, Kevin, why couldn't you stay silent on a lot of things and wait till the show finishes before just adding more fuel to this fire? Now, if you've not followed this Kevin Smith story, I will catch you up in a brief second, but if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. It really helps the channel grow, and I would really appreciate it. So, kind of like really gearing up to quite in summary. Kevin Smith mentioned about a year, 2 years ago, that He-Man, or the Masters of Revelation, was all going to be about He-Man. People turned around and said that it's all going to be about Teela because someone told them, and then all of a sudden this has kind of popped up. Kevin has said no, it's nothing to do with Teela, it's all going to be about He-Man, blah 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 blah, and then we all found out it was about Teela, and then now, oh god, now so I have kind of a few things. Kevin turned around and said in this series the next part was all going to be about He-Man. You're going to get so much He-Man that you wouldn't know what to do with it. And then all of a sudden, it's now shifted because he's turned around and said something completely different. So, Bounding Into Comics has got an article up, and it says, oh, they've actually put this up because this is the second time that I've recorded this because of audio issues. So they got the pictures back up. So it says, Kevin Smith reveals second half of Masters of the Universe Revelation shifts into an Evil Lyn story. Now, he mentioned previously, and this is one thing I'll say because people have said this, is that he turned around and said in the next part, it was on his daughter's life, it was going to be all about He-Man, and it was not going to be about anything else. It was roughly around those words, and I just hate that. I hate that way of saying something, because if it isn't, you've just pretty much said that you would throw your reputation, your word on something, and then use that to kind of get people off it. So that is one thing that was said. I don't agree with that whatsoever. You shouldn't use any family member or a loved one in that sort of way. So I just want to get that out because that did pop up. Okay, so he says, Masters of the Universe Revelation showrunner Kevin Smith has revealed that the following of a first half centered around Teela's quest to retrieve the two halves of the broken power sword. The second part has recently released. Netflix revival of the 80s franchise shifts into an Evil Lyn story. Now, first of all, I really did like Evil Lyn. I think that her character is really good. I love her voice actress. I just love that accent. It's absolutely amazing, and I kind of really like it. So she's one of my favorite characters in this entire whole shabuckle of a thing. So I really do enjoy Evil Lyn. Like, she's a good character. So, Smith teased Evil Lyn's expanded role during the recent Netflix-hosted Q&A season in response to being asked, is Evil Lyn actually evil, asserting that Evil Lyn is absolutely one of my favorite characters, not because Lena Headey gives what I feel is like an award-worthy performance, bringing the character's life, but also because we mirror Teela's journey with Evil Lyn's journey. Now, I wouldn't say it's award-winning, I would say it's really good. It's a good there, but what we're going to do is we are going to listen to what has been said. Yep, let's turn this a bit. Okay. So let's kind of watch this in all its entirety, so we can see. Let's kind of have a look at this and see what Kevin has said.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, showrunner for Masters of the Universe Revelation, and you probably have a lot of questions after watching that final episode.
I kind of think we don't have the questions about it. I feel it's more, why would you make it all about Teela, and then kind of kill He-Man twice, and then kind of make He-Man look like a joke to some people. But, fair dues, we already had our answers.
I'm here to answer as many of them as I can, and perhaps tease you about what's to come in the future.
I feel like Kevin there's like people going, oh, tease you. Everyone's like, oh my god, I need to know. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. When it's like, please, I'm gonna watch this because I want to see what happens. And I feel like when people say that they're gonna leave the franchise because of this, I feel like they're gonna go back and watch it because they want to know if Kevin lied or if he was telling the truth on things. Interesting how you start off with that.
Death is not always as permanent for those tapped into the realms of magic and mysticism. If you're sitting there going, I'm not going to watch a show with no He-Man or Adam in it. I know a guy, and a guy told me they might be back.
Okay, so I know what's coming next, but this sort of part here is, you told everyone that the show was going to be about He-Man, as in, like, you know, he was going to be in it, all this sort of thing, and then all of a sudden he wasn't for a majority of those episodes. He was only in it for, let's say, probably around about 10 to 15 minutes, and then all the rest was all about Teela. But carry on.
Except Orko, he's dead.
Okay, so I don't know if that's a joke, but seeing as he said in his stream that, yeah, he's completely dead, and, like, you know, we killed him off, and Orko was weak and stuff like that, and now, you know, it wasn't the favorite of Kevin Smith. Didn't like Orko, basically. So I don't know if that's meant to be a jab or if it's a thing. I don't know. But yeah, again, Kevin's lied, so yeah. I will say this though, my friend and I were having a discussion about this, and it's nice to see a body or something like that, then you know that they're not dead, that they can come back. And Orko, we didn't see the body, bar like a little strip of kind of like off his clothes, and that's about it.
As we saw, Skeletor survived. We thought him and He-Man died in the final battle. He-Man, we know, died. He went up to Preternia.
By the power of Grayskull.
What was up with the voice there?
Skeletor, no sign of him there, but also no sign of him, as you saw, in Subternia either. So he stayed alive by casting his essence into Evil Lyn's wand staff at the final second before everything went kablooey. And so there, he'd been with them on the whole journey. And every once in a while, you would see a shot where Lynn would look at her wand staff, we'd push in on it, and you would hear, like, that was meant to be Skeletor.
Now, I think this is really cool. I think that I would think it would have been interesting if you heard a bit of a laugh, like type thing. That would, I think, would have been so much better, because I feel like that would be more of an interesting thing that would have got people talking. But since these dropped all at once, there wasn't any kind of wait or anything like that, which was a big shame. But let's continue.
You don't have to do this.
Evil Lyn, absolutely one of my favorite characters, not just because Lena Headey gives what I feel is like an award-worthy performance bringing this character to life, but also because we mirror Teela's journey with Evil Lyn's journey as well. You're talking about two women who have been in the shadows of very powerful male characters.
I highly doubt this. I don't think Teela was in the shadow of He-Man, because if you looked at the original series, I think that would be a completely different thing, where people would be like, oh, Teela's not that strong, where Teela was fucking strong. She was a very independent woman. But when I hear this sort of thing of like, oh, in the shadows, I just feel like, you know, the He-Man was bigger or better, and then you wouldn't see Teela. Same thing for Evil Lyn. You know, these were two very powerful women in the show, and I feel like Kevin like really dumbs them down like the originals, and it's like, yeah, the originals were weak and they weren't this, but mine are better because, you know, they've got big muscles and they're strong and, you know, rah. I just generally think that Kevin could have worded that a lot better
Since the inception of the franchise. And Teela, you know, fought side by side with He-Man, definitely more of his equal. Evil Lyn, though, was always Skeletor's subservient. What happens in a world where the person who helps identify that character, in the case of Teela, He-Man, in the case of Evil Lyn, Skeletor, what happens if those two figures are removed from their lives? Who do they get to be? And as we see in these first 5 episodes, there's goodness in Evil Lyn, as Orko points out.
Turns out nobody's born evil.
But in the next 5 episodes, kids, it shifts into an Evil Lyn story that is so compelling, absolutely fascinating, satisfying, heartbreaking. It became my favorite part of Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Now that's what gets me quite a bit, because it feels like he's basically lied again and saying like, oh, you know, I said that the shift on He-Man was going to be a thing, and then all of a sudden now it's not. It's all about Evil Lyn, and it feels like, again, another switch and bait. Now, again, like we could find out in the next 5 episodes that He-Man is in every single one, but then how would you kind of focus on a story about Evil Lyn? It's a bit kind of on that one. I just kind of feel like when Kevin says this, I feel like he wants everyone to love his work and be like, oh my god, look at this. But I just kind of feel that this isn't the way forward. I think that if Kevin had turned around and told us exactly what would happen from day one, I think this would be a bit better. Like, I think that would be the story case. But now that you're focusing on Evil Lyn, that means that you're taking away from Skeletor and Adam and stuff, where again, Adam could just literally be resting up for the next, 5 episodes. And I think that's a bad thing if that happens. And I think Kevin Smith should just stop doing these things completely and just like let things lie. I just feel like this isn't the right thing to do right now.
Oh, they didn't call me evil. I added that part later.
The whole 5 episodes, magic had left Eternia, and that was a big part of the problem. The whole fellowship was built to go out and find the 2 halves of the power sword so they can reforge it, and that would bring the power back. Now all the power is back, all the magic has returned to Eternia, but it couldn't be in worse hands. Like literally, it's in the hands of the one guy you never want getting that sword. And as we saw for the first time ever, he got to say one of the most popular catchphrases in pop culture history, by the power of
It felt like
Grayskull.
Adam was. It took ages
I
for
can't
Adam.
do Mark Hamill.
I have the power!
The story picks up right
Well, we kind of
where
figured
we
that
leave
it
off.
would be
So
exactly
it ain't
left
going to be
off.
like 5 years later or anything like that. And the story then pivots in this new direction.
See, this is what I found out. So if we go back a little bit to what he says, involves every character. But the thing is, here is a very interesting point, and this is what I kind of picked up. And I don't think anyone else has mentioned this just yet. But you've got Tila, Skelly God, Duncan, you've got Evil Lyn, Andra, and Beastman. You would replace probably Beastman with Adam. So it feels like, again, you've taken He-Man out of this. Now, I know this is just a tiny little thing, but it's one thing that kind of annoys me because it feels like, again, Kevin's eyes saying, hey, He-Man's not really in this, or Adam's not in it. I would have put Adam in there because even though Beastman had his thing, I just also feel like in this one, it would have been easier for them, he didn't need to be in it effectively.
Involves every character that we've ever met, and involves, of course, the Sword of Power, but it's wreaking havoc, obviously, in the wrong hands.
Notice how every shot of He-Man, bar that one, has always been him dead.
He becomes what we call in the room Skelegod.
Now I, Skeletor,
We kind of figured out that with the toys.
Master of the Universe!
It's just the Joker.
Something he's dreamed about for 40 years. But you gotta be careful what you wish for, kids. Kids, I
No, it's not been
cannot
40
wait.
years. It's
for
been
you
a
folks
little
to
bit
see
less.
The next 5 episodes. Part
Yeah, it's
1
less.
is one of the things
Fuck's sake,
I'm
Kevin.
most proudest of that I've ever been involved with. Part 2 leaves Part 1 in the dust. Enjoy Part 1, I like it too. But I've seen Part 2, and it is astounding. It's a magical epic. I can't wait for y'all to see it as soon as they let us watch.
Yeah, it just kind of gets me on that one. I just feel like Kevin, again, has lied to it. He feels like, either he forgets what's been going on and then he adds this in, because you kind of think that if you wanted to squash rumors, if you wanted to leave things, you would turn around and say, oh, this is all about Adam. But then again, if you did that again, you would ruin it, where people would be like, you said it was all about Adam, but then it's about Evil Lyn. I just kind of think now maybe either he comes out and says, look, this was the true intentions, and I think people then would kind of move on from it. But we've got 5 more episodes to come. Whenever they drop, could it be this month, it could be next month, whenever, it's just going to be very interesting. I just don't like the way that Kevin has lied about this, so it's just been interesting. Now, I don't think there's anything much in the article. Again, it's like you're talking about 2 women, blah, blah, blah. In the end, finds what happened to those figures removed from their lives. So basically, they're just kind of repeating this. So I wanted to show it rather than just kind of not and be like, oh, this is a standard thing. So yeah, that's my main kind of take on this. To me, it's just something that I think in general, I think Kevin should have told at the very beginning rather than kind of lying and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Kevin is continuously lying, or do you think Kevin will turn around now and actually give us what the fans have wanted, which is literally He-Man in every episode, not Adam literally out of commission for the next 5? I would hate it if it's just one episode. I really would. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bar to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。